Gentleman yields back. I now recognize Ms. Lee for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you all for being here. I wanted to touch on governance within VA. It seems to be a challenge with all facets of VA management, but really comes down to leadership and accountability. In human capital, governance has complicated VA's decentralized management. What part of, for Mr. Sitterly, what part of VA is ultimately accountable for addressing the human capital challenges?
I am.
You are, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
How do you coordinate with VISN's individual facilities?
So Ms. Bongiorni is the Chief Human Capital Officer for VHA, Ms. Beers for the Veterans Benefits Association, and Dr. Lisa Thomas for the National Cemetery Administration. I see those three people more than I see my family. There's not anything that we put in policy and governance that we haven't discussed, that we don't collaborate on, that we don't talk about.
Great. Mr. Goldenkopf, I wanted to ask you, there's been some leadership turnover, and how has that, and challenges, how has that affected the VA's ability to make sustainable improvements in human capital management?
It's been extremely problematic. Leadership continuity is so important because they're the, if you have a plan in place, if you have a strategy in place, leaders set the tone. So long as there's that consistent turnover, a lot of that just never happens, or it's just much more difficult to happen when essentially the people at the top are temporary employees.
Thank you.
So.
Thank you. I want to turn now, as you know, I'm the chairwoman of the Electronic Health Record Modernization. So one GAO 2018 report cited having quality experience program staff as a critical factor in the success of major IT acquisitions. Also noted the importance of consistency and stability of government and staff in achieving these goals. Mr. Oswald, what specific steps has the VA in the Office of OEHRM taken in furtherance of these critical factors?
Well, there is a standing integration office in the Office of Information Technology headed up by one of our IT senior executives, happens to be a clinician as well. So there is a constant ongoing dialogue there. The individuals who are at the initial operating capacity sites, the IOC sites, are working what we call shoulder to shoulder with the VA, VHA folks to develop the clinical workflows and to respond to their needs as our customers. So in conjunction too with the EHRM staff, my staff in particular, we provide a great deal of logistical support to the EHRM folks in terms of budget, space, and HR support.
What percentage of the OIT staff's assigned or tasked with the EHRM project? Do you have a percentage?
No, ma'am, I don't, but I'll be able to get that back.
Can you get that for me? I'm just sort of, obviously the concern with supporting your ongoing IT as well as this enormous oncoming project and the stress that it puts on your IT personnel, and obviously with your vacancy rate as well, it's a big concern as we move into the implementation to make sure that we're moving forward to that. Do you know what the turnover rate for your IoT personnel is, and what do you have any idea about the turnover rate for the personnel responsible for the OHRM?
No, ma'am, I don't. Given that this is within just last 18 months, I don't think we have the metrics on that. A number of OIT employees have moved over and been hired by the EHRM staff. So in effect, we're fully embedded with them based on the relationships that exist between people, and we are backfilling the positions that that were vacated by that. So I don't have any metrics on turnover, but again, I will be able to provide that to you.
Great, thank you very much. My time's up.
The gentlelady yields back. I now recognize Mr. Watkins for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thanks for being here. There's a lot of